And we are live. Here we go. Eddie Gray in the mix. Super excited to be here. Just got to the studio. Every day we get it in. We do our best no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the external activity. We get back into the dojo and we put in that work. Hope you guys are well. My name is Eddie Gray. If you don't know who I am, award-winning composer. I've done a lot of documentaries. Just finished the Kim Kardashian documentary. Working on a really big publishing deal right now. And the message here is essentially, if you make music, if you're a modern creative, if you want a way to monetize your music, my message is that you can do it. So today I'm going to run a compressor through this song that I've been finishing up. If you want to backlog, you can check out those episodes. But essentially, I've been finishing music for a publisher. It's there's a whole world out there where people will hire you because they love what you do, your sound, your mixes, your production touch. And so essentially, I've got this deal. I'm closing in on it. I'm just about done. Thanks to all the great writers out there that have been helping me with it. Everybody at High Frequency Tracks, thank you guys very much. But yeah, the final touches. I'm going to run the drums through a compressor. I have a stereo voltage control by a company called Overstock, and they're right here in like North Hollywood, LA area. So we're gonna run the drums through that, so you can see how nice that sounds. On the way here, I was just thinking about like how can I get that kick to knock. Sometimes I'll get messages about the mix like when I'm not actually here, and so it's good to start, you know, using that as a practice. Like maybe when you're doing something else, um, and you start like asking yourself, what else could I do to the mix? Can I add a transient shaper? Can I add a chorus to the bass? Can I add some reverb to the kick? Whatever it is. So yeah, I just kept thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do? And I thought of two things. One, I can add a transient shaper to the kick so I get more of a knock. And I can also just run it through my compressor. And since I never really do that, I just thought, why not? So I've got Logic up and running. Let me just kind of set up all the controls here. And I just wanted to just relay a quick message because just the other day, somebody sold me a song, and I asked for specific edits and submixes. And when this individual, great guy, turned in the song, these edits were not professional at all, you know. And so at that moment, I had the opportunity to like, just brush that off and do it myself and just kind of like, it's like the old saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself. Or I felt like there was a teaching moment where I could have like impacted this certain person's life. So I went ahead and I talked to him and I said, hey, look, let me show you how to do this right, okay? Turns out he's part of another group. They also work on licensing opportunities. They have their own thing that they do on Saturdays. And I said, how long have you been training with these guys, right? And he said, a year and a half. And I said, okay. I said, how much money have you made? He said, $200. So, I'm looking at this like from a distance, right? Like you've been working with them for a year and a half. You've been putting in so much time. Every weekend you're doing, this many hours. $200, year and a half. It's not translating. Some of the guys in my academy, hfmusicacademy.com, have already made $400, $100. They've only been in it for like 2 weeks. So what's you know what's the rub? Like what's happening here, right? So it's not even the money thing, but when I looked at his edits, like they were so unprofessional, they were so unacceptable according to industry standards that I told him, look, let me show you how to do this. All right, I'm going to take the time out of my schedule. Got a lot going on, but it's cool. We'll sit down, we'll make it happen. So I sat down for 15 minutes and I said, do you want me to talk to you the real way or do you want me to talk to you in a soft way? And he said, just tell me the truth. He's like, I work better when you just tell me the truth. I said, these edits are unacceptable. And that group that you're working with, the fact that they haven't pointed this out and they haven't trained you well is a sign of leadership that's lacking. So I don't know what's going on in that group over there, but it's very important that you know that this is not acceptable. So I took the time to show him how to do it. All right. And you know what? I'm going to take the time to show you guys how to do it now because somebody has to kind of step up, right? There's got to be somebody that says, you know what? I care. I want to show you the right way. It may not be perfect, but this is what has helped me at this juncture. And so I'm going to take the time today to help you. All right. So we're going to talk about rendering edits for licensing, music licensing. Some of these concepts may be applicable to all music industries, but we're specifically honing in on the music licensing industry. So anyway, hopefully that story helps you. You got to conduct yourself like a professional. You know, if you think that you're just going to go into any industry, regardless if it's the music industry, the fashion industry, modeling, cooking, whatever, and you are not going to conduct yourself like a professional, if you think that is going to happen and you're going to make something of yourself, you're going to make a name of yourself, I'm telling you, not going to happen. It happens because you claim your space. You say, this is who I am. This is my birthright. I believe I can do this. And then after that, you do all of the necessary work to back that action. So, yeah, sure, there's a little bit of luck involved. Sure, there's a little bit of like confidence and persistence. But then the action behind it has to be rock solid. The last thing you want is to open the door of opportunity. You go in, and then that door is closed. They push you out and they close it because you haven't done the right stuff. So anyway, make sure you're on top of your game here as you are venturing into the world of music, music licensing, and just becoming a professional. You don't have to watch this channel if you're not interested in getting in music licensing. This is about being a professional. This is about, hey, I can make money doing what I love. So again, let's get into the music here. I'm gonna check out these drums. Um, I've been thinking about the knock and how can I make, it hit a little bit harder. But let me just let you reference kind of what we're working with here. See, Zoom is up and running. All right, here we go. All right, still fine tuning. I've heard this song like maybe hundreds of times, maybe thousands, I don't know, but a lot. And I usually like listening kind of front to back. I get a real kick out of, experiencing the song. So right now, you know, I got this hit. It was like, hey, why don't you take the piano and add some reverb, but don't add it in the typical post fader kind of default way. If you add it and use pre-fader, right? So this is now happening kind of before the volume, and I lower the volume itself so I get more of the reverb, then maybe the piano will soften a little bit. My aim here isn't to move the piano way far back of the mix. It'd be nice just to soften it enough. But that could also be achieved with the transient shaper. So, we're just kind of playing a game of like chance. We're just kind of just seeing, let's try this out and see if it works. So right now we're trying reverb and pre-fader, and we're trying to soften the piano. Here we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Here, listen to what we had before. So I'm just going to bypass the pre-fader, and the attack should now be sharper. Listen. Okay. So back to our initial point at hand. It's funny how that happens, right? You're like here, you move over here, but then you got to come back to what the initial idea was. So here, I was thinking I'm going to add a compressor, right? So this is something that is fairly new to my workflow. I'd say I've had this maybe for the past year, something like that. Yeah, right around there. And the goal here is to add some analog harmonics just to kind of change up the sound. So let me show you how it works. You add one of these IO plugins under utility, and then you have to have everything routed properly. I don't want to get into all that, but I've got mine routed in such a way. And so I'm going to play the drums without it. Sounds like this. Hang tight. See what this sounds like. For some reason, I'm not getting any signal. Should be working. I got everything routed. Let me see. Yeah, that's not working for some reason. I'm going to try it again. And like I said, doesn't work. You got to pivot. So let me go under utility. Is that under IO? No, I've got it under here. Utility IO. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see here. Let's see, hopefully this works. Yeah, it's funny. All the high end is being cut out. I could see all my routing is where it needs to be. So plan B. We got to keep on moving because I got to render these files and turn this in ASAP. I'm on song 38 to be song 39. So, all right, let's add let me do a compressor, software compressor on this channel. just to kind of make things sound a little bit hard, like edgy. So I got this thing free a long time ago, the Bus Driver. Let's try Drum Bus, see what this sounds like. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Just a little bit of character is always a good thing, I'm okay with processing on a track level, on a group level, and then of course on a master level. So you can see I've got a compressor on just about, let's see, don't really have it on. I've got a transient shaper on the loops here. No compression happening on the track level, compression on the group level, and then compression on the master level. So let's hear this again. Yeah. And let's say you still just wanted a little bit more. There's another great trick that you can utilize. Here, let me just check my levels real quick. Yeah, -10 LUFS, so I still have a little bit of room. So there's a great plugin called Animate. It's a great mastering plugin. You can use it on a group level, but something about it, it's just like that extra little bit of sauce. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sidechain it to the kick. So this one's called Kick Trigger. So I'm gonna take this. Now bear in mind, this is on the master level. So what's going to happen is we're going to be able to hear the kick come through a little bit more as a result of. Now I'm going to process using the mid channel, right? Just all the middle stuff. So we're just processing the kick. I don't know if I need any of this top end information. I don't know if I need any of this bottom. So I'm going to filter out kind of like where the kick sits. If you want more information, go into the channel itself. It's right here, and just make an analysis. Let's look at the kick and let's try and filter it out. Let's call it 30 hertz to 800. But remember, it's not just the kick. We also have this 808 that we have to consider. So let's look at some information. So if the kick was 30 to 800, and remember that we do have that side chain, let's check this out. So, it's not a bad idea to take the kick, maybe even trim out some of the low end just so that there's no catastrophic collisions, right? And then maybe I'll accentuate some of this top end as we need it. Let's see what this sounds like. Both sounds nice to me. I'm hearing more of the hit, the slap. So that's fine. And then maybe I'm going to leave the sub alone and I'm just going to process from 80 hertz and up, right? So let's go ahead and hit the signal. Let's see if it's making an impact. I'd love to hear more of the kick. I've got my sub turned on. I usually put my foot right next to the sub just to get a little bit of that impact. I don't like turning it up too loud, but just enough so that I can feel it and I can hear the translation, or at least the potential translation. Here we go. All right, let's turn on low latency mode real quick. Yeah, this is good. So what's happening here is that I'm setting the threshold just enough so that when the signal is filtered through the plugin, okay, when the signal is filtered through the plugin, I'm just hitting the kick enough, right? So I hear more of the kick, and there's this beautiful relationship happening between the song and the kick. This doesn't have to happen on every song, but with a song like this, where the 808's taking kind of over the bottom, we don't need anything else sitting there. So why not just get a little bit more kick? Why not just get a little bit more slap from kick itself? Sounds so much better. I hear this movement as well that we hadn't heard before. Listen. Okay, so you can bypass from here when you're using Animate by mastering the mix. Love this company; they're the best. And you can also bypass right here. All right, you can hear the results. One of my favorite things to do is just kind of get a sense of what I'm using. And if you don't know how to use the controllers, maybe I'll cover them in a bit. But then you play with like the ADSR here or the AR, and then the sensitivity, and you get a real good sense of, how is this working. So I'm going to go ahead and play with those controllers, and then I'll play with the other ones when we get back. All right, so yeah, got this up so it's a little bit more sensitive. It's responding a little bit more. The punch of your audio will increase as you increase the sensitivity slider. So that is that. And then this guy sets the amount of time for the transient to be boosted. Set a longer attack time for more bite. So if you wanted more of a kick, you would just move this out of the way. I always find the wording to be interesting. Sets the amount of time for the transient to be boosted. It sounds like backwards sometimes. Look, either way, try it, get in there, move it around, and you'll get a feel of what's right, what's wrong. This expand module lets you increase the difference between the louder and quieter signals. Compressor, giving your audio more dynamic range in a transparent way. Let's try it. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll give it a go. I don't know if I'll do any filtering, but definitely you got to set the threshold. If you don't set the threshold, plugin's not really working. Here we go. Yeah, to my ears, I just hear a little bit of sauce. Again, when I work with this plugin, it really just is adding a little bit on top, adding a little bit of cream, adding a little bit of sugar, stirring that, and then taking a nice drink. I miss coffee. I miss it so bad. I haven't drank it in a while. Um, but yeah, really nice. I'll play with the attack and and release. I don't see myself using it at this point, but this is like, there's always another opportunity to research, always another opportunity to catalog another experience so that you can kind of look back. All right, the one time that I used it for that one song, it felt really good. Why don't I try it on this song? I don't always use the plugin. I just use it when I've already finished the song. I've heard the processing, and I just want to hear a little bit more, right? So this is my usage. I'm sure there's other ways of using it, but this is just a little bit more on top. So happy with that. And a big part of this industry, especially when you're new, is like, how do I know if I'm making the right decision, the right mixing decision? And honestly, the only true and tried way that I know is I bypass the plugin, then I turn it back on, and if I miss it, if something is lacking, if I'm not hearing, what I ultimately visualized or what I hear in my head, then that you either bring it in or out. I mean, it's a pretty simple process, right? You have to start listening to yourself again. So let me press play again. And now we're getting into harmonics and exciter, right? And introduces rich harmonic distortion. So, I've done some mono processing or mid processing. I've done some left right with the expansion. So it's like sometimes I'm like, well, let me just try and see if I can add a little bit here by way of side. Again, I don't know if it's going to work, but we can certainly give it a try. And just looking at the rest of my master channel, hold on. Why isn't this updating? Oh, okay, cool. Looking at the rest of my channel, I don't have any other saturation going on by way of like a tape simulator or something like that. So it's like, hey, this may not be a bad idea. Let me try it on side first. So this is like all the information happening on the left and the right, kind of what's the difference between, you know, left and right, or any information that's hard pan to the left, hard pan to the right. So let's see what this sounds like. Again, I don't need the low information, so I'm going to filter that out. And let's see if this works. Uh-oh. All right, we're getting technical difficulties. Let me, yeah, this thing's being like really clunky this morning. I'm gonna try and remove some plugins. Worst case scenario, we'll just kind of move with it. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time because this thing is being particularly slow. Let me try one more time. Yeah, feeling really good about this. I'm still, you know, kind of on the fence about this last module. So Grow says increases the stereo width. Now, bear in mind, I already used an imager at the top of the plugin. I don't know if you guys remember the last time we were talking, but we were talking about the like when to add the imager, and I told you if I remembered, I would bring back the specs. So you want to add the imager at the beginning of the chain. This is like before any processing. So let me just move this right behind. Yeah, cool. If you need to fix the stereo imaging, all right, and you want to bring the imager right before the limiter in another scenario, if you only need to increase the width a little bit, like if you just kind of need to, you know, to touch it as far as imaging goes. So if your song is mixed, but the imaging sucks, go ahead and use it at the top of the chain, the very first thing that you're going to process. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with imaging, I have a fantastic course on hfmusicacademy.com called Mixing 101. We also do live training, and that will bring you up to speed. Believe me, we have a lot of people all over the world that we're helping out. In fact, this morning we just partnered up potentially with a new company who's going to help us out. So things are moving forward. We're feeling good. So yeah, let's see if this in fact is going to do anything to my song. Again, it's not even that I'm looking for an answer here. I'm just trying it out so I can learn. I'm forever a student in this game, even though now I'm teaching. I'm only teaching because I really want to contribute and I really want to help people. But still, I still put in my hours every single day. I was studying this morning. I went on a run this morning. I studied a little bit before that. And then I'm going to study the rest of the day. So always working to get better and evolve. So let's try this out. We're going to try it in left, right side and see if we get some information. Let's see what happens. I'm really liking that. I'm really liking what it did to the snare. Um, if you are working with stereo imaging, again, this is not a confusing concept, all right? So don't be like overwhelmed or don't think that there's something that I know that you don't know. I've only been doing this for 6 years. Before I was doing this, I was a personal trainer. Literally, not kidding. That was like my career. Did really well. In fact, it afforded me the opportunity to buy all this gear, and I was able to make a switch, by being perseverant, by working hard, looking for contacts, finding leads, pitching music, and being all about it. But when we're talking about imaging, we're talking about how things are positioned in the mix. Are they wide? Are they narrow? Are they big? Are they small? And so one thing that you want to be careful with when you're mixing is if you're going to be using imaging, you want to make sure that it doesn't mess up the phase. That's a fancy word for just saying it doesn't mess up your mix, and that the correlation meter here on the right hand side is still in phase. How do I know if it's in phase? Well, essentially, um, this little signal here is supposed to say between the middle and the right, so it can oscillate back and forth, and it's okay if it kind of gets off track a little bit, but for the most part, the song should live somewhere in the middle. And what this is going to do, it's going to make your song sound a lot better, louder, and the reproduction of it from the dot to the outside world is just going to sound better overall. So let's just go ahead and check that out and make sure that I'm not messing up, the entire signal. I love it. I love it. Sounding great. All right. So now we got to finish because at some point you just got to make a decision. You got to commit. That's how it happens. You have to commit. Let me check this ending. Now I'm going to check it with small speakers. So on my desktop controller, I'm going to turn off the sub, turn off the atoms, and just make sure that when this part comes through at the end, you don't want to get something where it's like it just out of context, right? You want it just to feel like one smooth transition. So let's check this out. Yeah, so this overall could be smaller. So I'm going to bounce just this part to audio, Control B. Now in this bounce dialog window, Logic is saying, hey, what do you want me to do with the source? Do you want me to mute it? Do you want me to delete it? Should I leave it? Okay, I'm going to mute the source just in case I render this and I don't like what it sounds like. And then on top of that, do you want me to select a new track? Like, where am I rendering this to? So yeah, I want a new track. I want to mute the source. And then most importantly, right here where it says include the audio tail in the file. Yes. If you're processing reverb, if you've instantiated reverb and you want that to process in the signal, then you have to turn that on. Okay. Normalize, I'm good. You don't want to use this uh, unless your signal is really quiet. Stay away from that. So we're bouncing this. You can see that the source has been muted. All right. And then now I'm bringing this down. And let's see if this sounds any better. I'm going to throw in a quick filter. Let me do Clean Sweep Pro. Really love this filter. It's really clean, really nice. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, I like that. I'm going back to the big speakers, except this time I want to bring down the signal. So in the region inspector, let's plug this out, and I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. All right, let's see. All right, guys, well, that's how it's done. Let's go ahead and hit Command A, Command U. We have to check the ending. right? Conduct yourself like a professional. I'm just going to listen to the ending, make sure as that reverb trails off, it's not abruptly cut off by the cycle region. So let's check this out. Boom. Okay, yeah, happy with that. Very good, very good. And let's go ahead, render our first file, Command B. I only need 4824. And we'll call this staircase. We'll call this the full version. And I'm going to go ahead and send this to the desktop. All right, we're rendering. So we're doing this offline, meaning it's being, processed with, like while the computer is turned off. Like I don't have to hear it being processed live on the spot, but I have so many plugins and I have so much processing that, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of time here to render this file. So as this is rendering now, I'm going to go ahead and start opening up Expose or Expose by mastering the mix. So then, I just want to take a look at the song once it's rendered. And yeah, this can be a detailed process. If you're on a tight deadline, it's probably enough just to go from here and shoot it out. But it's also good to take your time, at least just to know like what the standard should look like. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt and work on it. Like really give it your being. What's up, Decal? How you doing, man? Hello there. Any questions you have, go ahead and throw it out. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. We love you guys. We know who you are. Keep your frequency high. But yeah, like I find too many people. I don't know if people are in a rush. I don't know if people um they don't know what it takes, so they're not willing to really put in the time. I mean, think of anything great in this world. Like, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie? One of my favorite movies of all time is Wall-E, right? Wall-E animated feature came out a couple years back. Man, the movie took 5 years to make from what I remember. So it took a whole team 5 entire years. Guys, if you're mixing a song, if you're producing a song, it's going to take some time. Like it's okay if it takes a little bit of time, you know? It's all right. Just take your time, do your best. And then once you become a professional, and then once people really, hear what you're all about, then this will become a second language. Fantastic. At that point, yeah, let it rip, you know? Let's look at my results, team. Here we go. I'm going to bring you into, hold on. Let me go zoom. All right, cool. Shift Command S. I'm going to share expose. All right. So we're looking at the final rendering results. Again, I am kind of taking my time. I want to educate the people in my life. I want to educate my friends, all my supporters. I got about 30 minutes. So after this, we're going to render files so you can know the correct way of doing this. All right. You're not going to be in this industry and say that nobody helped you. All right. That you're not going to say, oh, nobody cared. Nobody talked to me. Because that's what I used to say 6 years ago when nobody knew me. I didn't have any contacts in the industry. Right. Nobody knew who I was. If you guys know anything about what I'm doing right now, I just sold a course to Beat Academy. Much respect, much love to Beat Academy. I'm just so grateful to be collaborating with Beat Academy now. And it took a lot of work, but also conducted myself like a professional, right? Was consistent, followed through, did everything that they wanted me to do. So yeah, stay up, stay hungry, stay detailed. All right. Let me make sure this is going to play for you guys. Let me go into my settings. See, it says output settings zoom. So we are good to go. All right. So this is part of what I like to do. I just kind of look at the numbers. So on the far left, we're looking at the integrated LUFS. All right. So this is like the loudness. Man, it can't get any better. Like at any point in the song, you should never go below -9. So we're good. All right. A -10 LUFS integrated is beautiful. I mean, I'd be okay with a -9, -8. So here, let's just listen to the result objectively. I'm not looking at the DAW, so it's not influencing. So I'm just going to go ahead and just press play. Man, praise God. I'm so happy. You guys have no idea how long it's taken. You guys have not seen the journey to get here, man. What a mountain. All right. Decibels true peak. So anywhere between, -2 to 0, even -0.75 is money. But you'll find that most popular songs actually go over. In fact, let me just drag something in real quick so you can corroborate that information. Let's go into AB reference music. Let me just drag in. Let's just do a Drake track. Let's see. Okay, cool. So this track is at 0.30, but this is a quiet track. Let me see if I could bring in something a little harder. Preferably a rap track, but if not, I'll just see. Where's this guy? This is a pop song. It's 84, 123. So yeah, they're clipping, but it's a good kind of clipping. It's it kind of serves the purpose. Let's throw in some Jessie Reyes. Man, she's doing great. Much respect. Yeah, so she's already at 1.38, and you can kind of see the trend. So just don't push it too hard. Let's check out Gangsta by Kehlani. They're pushing, but when you listen to this song, I don't want to play it back because I don't want to have any issues with YouTube. But if you listen to this song, oh wait a minute, they're at -249, so they're very conservative with that master. Here, let's check out Major Lazer. See what this looks like. Pretty cool. -0.37. Let me see if I have something aggressive. Hold on, I want to find something that where it's like, okay, here we go. Here we go. 1 decibel true peak. So this is kind of hard, but it's just on a couple of spots. You can see it's not thrashing. Let me just try a couple more. I'm just curious if I could find something aggressive. Let's see where Travis Scott is in this mix. Uh-oh. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Travis Scott goes hard with his mixes. Check that out. Almost 3 decibel true peak. So they're pushing it. They're, when they're cranking the mix, they're going hard. And if you like that sound, there's a way to achieve it. All right. There's a way to achieve that sound. All right. So let's move on here. So I'm happy with the levels. Love my decibel true peak. I'm in phase. Correlation meter is where it needs to be. And my dynamic range is acceptable. Dynamic range has to do with like the loudest and the quietest signals. But when I'm listening to my song, I'm going to take one quick listen. Hold on. Yep. Oh man, I'm so happy. This is great. Thank you for this day, man. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Grateful that I'm running again, taking care of myself, back from the dead, man. Feeling so good, so alive, revived. All right, so that is kind of the process. I've just taken a look at the numbers. I'm happy. We are good to go. We're about to finalize final steps, final polish. We're not going to get into editing. So let's get that now. Shift Command S. All right, let's go back into Logic. Beautiful. So I'm going to create a project alternative. I've got that set to a key command. So I'm going to call this my 15. And actually, wait. Before I even do that, it's good to take into account. This is called my Staircase 2 session, final polish. So that gives me a heads up. Hey, this is the one that is the master. So then now I'll go back to my alternative. And I've done this enough times where right now I only need to create the 60, the 30, and the 15. So in the past, I would like start and I'd create the 15, I'm sorry, the 60 first and the 30 and then the 15. And I found that it was like weird to make an edit based on just the 15 when I haven't heard the 60 yet, right? This song in its entirety, how long is it? It's got to be 2 minutes and change. Yeah, 2:16. So you have a better vantage point on the song if you start with the 60-second version. So I'm gonna create the 15-second version first. Okay, then I'll hit new alternative, and then I'll hit the 30-second, and then again the 60-second version. And then from here, I will create. If your computer is like spacing out and it's not processing things well, I would probably go to File, and of course this is in Logic, but most DAWs have some type of equal function where you can do this kind of thing. So you want to replace all the tracks, so everything is going to be bounced to audio. Yeah. All right. So at this point, I'm going to turn on the secondary ruler right up here. It's under the View menu, and I'm also going to turn on the marquee ruler, which is right there. All right. Good. And so the process looks something like this. When you make an edit, it still has to be a song that can exist by itself, meaning even though it's a 60-second edit, it still needs to be a song that can exist. It has an intro, it has some kind of middle, and then some kind of end. Now, that is a completely subjective thing, but here's what you don't want to do. Just like bring this over the lazy way, right? And then just like, all right, now I'm going to render the. It doesn't work that way. Like, it's not that easy. You have to kind of think about this a little bit. The trick really comes in the drag feature and in the snap feature. All right, so I'm thinking about this. Song's 2 minutes. I have to cut it in half essentially. So I'm thinking in halves. All right, so very first thing is I've got 8 bars at the beginning here. Why don't I just cut off these first, right? And I'm going to hit Control Command X, and then let's see what this sounds like. Just kind of out of the gates, just cut off the first half. Now I'm just listening. Yeah. Yep. Good. Good. I'm happy with that. So now it's fair to say that I could take this and I could cut that. All right, let's listen. All right, it's working. I'm happy about that. I know I've got this like trippy lead part coming up right now. Hold on. What we got here? Hello there. Yep. What's up? Nice to see you guys. Here, let me turn on low latency mode. So what we're doing here, team, is we're creating edits. These songs are for music licensing for a big publisher, and I'm just finalizing. I'm on song number 38. This is 39, and I've been signed up for a contract to do 45, and I'm going to turn in 50. I'm going to surprise my publisher so that she knows, oh man, this guy is so above and beyond. He does, everything right. Before I submit everything, I'm going to listen to every single song. I'm going to listen to every single edit to make sure that everything is top notch. All right. That's what it takes, that kind of dedication and that kind of focus. All right. So that being said, I like this. This moves well. We got to think about this middle section. Like, do I need this piano? Maybe we can go straight into this part. So again, I can hit the key command, Control Command X, or we go into cut section. I'm going to cut the section. All right, let's see what happens here. And I'll take a kind of like step back and hit Command A, Command U, get the cycle region and see where am I. All right, I'm at 124. Now, bear in mind, I may not need this ending. All right, maybe we could just end without it. Again, Command A, Command U, and let's hit Well, there got something there as well. Command A, Command U. So if I hit Command B, now I'm at 107. So, I wonder if I can end the song like this without the previous intro. Because remember, we're doing this 60-second edit. Let's see. Yep, that'll work. That'll work. So, it's just a matter of, you know, cropping something in here. So, I'm pretty sure we can cut this in half, my friends. Let's do that. Let's cut it in half. So I'm just gonna go like that. And by the way, if you don't want to do it this way, you could use the drag function, the shuffle. So I'm gonna hit mine, make sure it's on shuffle left. I've got the marquee ruler, which not a lot of people know about. Go on YouTube. It's not on there. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete. I'm gonna split, and then now I've cut that and folded it into itself. So now let's listen to this edit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I want to make sure this song is not collapsing. Hold on, hold on. Okay, that sounded weird. What happened? Hold on. Okay. That was good. That was good. Happy with that. Let's try this edit one more time. I'm at 4 bars. It says there in the help tag. I'm going shuffle left, delete. See what happens? All right. Yeah, it gets a little funky. Gets a little funky. I'm not sure why. I'll tell you what. Let's do this the other way. Maybe it's just a bug or something. I don't know. Let's try it. Okay. So Command A, Command U, selecting the cycle region just to check the time. It says 1 minute. Spot on. It's nice. So I'm going to increase the length because it's all right to, create an edit and make it a little bit longer, like 1 minute and 3 seconds. The editor on that side in post-production can always cut your version, but you don't want them to add stuff to your version. Like let's say your publisher, your client asked for a 60-second version and you gave them a 57, right? They have to now add something to it. Whereas if yours is 103, then it's okay because they can just fade out or cut. So let's listen to 104. That may be too long, but let me just play this. I'm going to stop here. Okay. And there's a function in Logic. I have it set as F13 from what I remember. Oh, they just changed the key commands. Okay, let's see if I could find it, my friends. Let's see. It's something about the main output, and it create volume fade on main output. Man, thanks to all those years of studying, the information is still in my brain. Love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so now I'm going to set this key command. We just had Logic 10.5, so I just updated. So I'm having to kind of like regroup. So I set this to F13. All right. And so then now check this out. This is so nice because I don't have to do this work on the master channel. I hit F13 and boom, it just creates a nice little fade for me, right? It's nice to expedite the process and let the digital arm do some of the heavy lifting. All right, let's check this out. Cool. I like it. I like what's happening. Everything feels good. Let me just increase that curve. Nice. Okay, so on the money, 102. Feeling absolutely elated. Let's go ahead and bounce this. So a lot of this has to do with the state that you're in, my friends. You know, if you're not in a good space, I highly recommend that you go to sleep, go for a run, go do something that makes you feel happy. Go do something that you know makes you alive. Have a conversation, whatever. But if you're making music and you're conducting your business in such a way that you're not lifted, you're not elated, you're stressed about money, family, issues, whatever it is, It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to write remarkable music. It's going to be tough to write memorable themes. It's going to be tough, right? When I come through that door, right there into my studio, I always turn it off. I turn off everything outside there. I'm done, right? This is my life. This is my territory. This is something that I've been building for 20 years or so, right? I've been striving and thriving and working at it for so long that when I come in here, my domain, you know what? I'm going to live my life and I'm going to have fun and I'm going to do what champions do best, right? And I'm going to work. So fantastic. I got the 60 done. Off camera, I'm just going to listen real quick. I'm just going to make sure that I just take a quick listen, make sure the beginning, the middle is there. Oh, listen to that ending. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so that's the 60. Back in it, my friends. Let's go into File, Project Alternative. We're going 30. All right, let that come up. Got a couple more minutes, and then I've got to bounce. Yeah, back in the day when I would first do this, I used to render files while doing something else. So, I'd be like watching documentary or something. And then I started finding that, like, I don't know, it just kind of influenced negatively what I was up to. It's like, if I'm going to do this, why don't I put my entire being in it instead of being distracted? Um, I firmly believe from the bottom of my heart that if you really focus on something with all of your being, with all of your might, that there's an exchange that happens, and you start to really learn and master the program. So whatever it is that you're up to, try and keep your full focus on what it is that you're doing. Yeah, I usually just focus on my breath, and I'll think about my life, dreams, wishes. I have a book of goals, and I write down a bunch of goals in there. A lot of those goals have happened, which is awesome. But yeah, same technique, same technique. All right. I already know that it's the cutting the first couple bars is gonna work. So why don't I just kind of stick to what works? Let's cut that out. This time I only have 30 seconds, so I'm gonna go right into kind of the magical section, where that crazy synth comes in. This one right here. Really, not that one. Where's that synthesizer? The one that sounds all. Is it here? Yeah. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. Beautiful. And then let's see, the section ends right here, bar 12. So if you ever just want to try something out and see what it's going to sound like, in Logic, create a cycle region, control click the cycle region, and then go to swap left and right locators and check out what happens. Try that again. All right, so I know that's going to work. I don't know about all the voices and all that, but regardless, Control Command X, nice clean edit. Looks like we're at 26 seconds. I can use a little bit of this voice stuff now. I don't know how much I'm going to need. Let's just go with the assumption that all we need is right there. Let's see, 30. Right there is probably even better. All right, let's check this out. Okay, so now it's a little tricky because you could be stepping into like rookie territory. So let me just press play. All right. So this is a nice little trick. So notice I'm at 22 seconds, but I can use a reverb throw to complement what I'm trying to do here. Hold on, let me just move the playhead. Looks like I'm not. Yeah, there we go. All right, little fade. Let's listen to this again. Okay, good. So I like the part. I can conceptualize what it's going to sound like when I add reverb. I'm going to turn on latch automation. I have that set to a key command. I've got the reverb set to a parameter on my circuit controller. So let's add some reverb. Here we go. All right, that didn't cut in the way I wanted it to. Looks like it came in a little late. So let's bring this back some. All right. And I heard a little click right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a courtesy fade. Okay, happy with that. Let's hear that clicker pop. I just want to be sure, like, where is it coming from? It actually could be one of these tracks over here. Remember, there's a lot of other tracks to consider. Let's hear if it's in there. Still there. So I guess last thing I'll do before I start to be super nitpicky is create a batch fade. All right, sweet. I'll take it. All right, so Command A, Command U. That is way too far. What's that doing? Bring in the cycle region. Sweet. Let me see what's up. All right, that sounds pretty good to me. When I check the region now, I'm at 26 seconds. Ooh, that's not going to work. Why is it 26? Oh, I started a little bit later. Okay. Then this is where hopefully this, yep, non-destructive editing. You got to love it. Gotta love it. I mean, I would have figured it out either way, but this just makes it easy. Command B, that's now 39 seconds, so don't push it, right? Let's see, maybe we can go right here. Let's see what that looks like. Command A, Command U. Command B, 30 seconds. All right, I don't mind 32, 33. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, actually, that would have been nice. If we get that low formant voice, something like that. Yup, that's it. I love it. Get some reverb to carry us home. That sounds real nice. I'll tell you, the most important skill when you're first starting, and just I think in general, but when you're first starting particularly, is just editing, really mastering it, understanding the musical time ruler, snap mode, your drag mode, nudge, how to put all that together. It's a beautiful thing, my friends. It really is. Cool, I dig that. I'm just gonna lift this a little up. There you go. Woo! I love it. All right. Boom, boom. I like how it cuts. I just want to check one more time, guys. One more time. Here we go. Okay. I'm at 30 seconds. You know what? Let's get 31. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. I love it. All right, Command B. Boom, boom. Wasn't always like this, man. I do not forget what it used to be like. You guys have no idea what the journey's been like. All right, we're rendering this. Man, I remember when I was a personal trainer out there, doing all sorts of jobs. It was insane, man. Absolutely craziness. Driving from city to city, just hustling to make it. And I had a dream in my heart. Just wanted to make it in music. That's all I wanted. How can I make it? How can I find my place? Right? And then God created a path. Just so happy that the potential exists. If I told you how much money I was making on this deal, you guys would flip. It's possible. It's possible. All right, let me check the edit, and then I got one more for you. Fantastic. 2 out of 2. Take your time, guys. Take your time, guys, when you're making your edits. Take your time when you're making your music. It's better to turn in one really good song. It's better to turn in one fantastic song that makes an impact. So when the supervisor hears it, when the publisher, an agent hears it, they go, "Who's that? Wait. Stop, guys, stop. What song is that?" And they're like, "Oh man, that's, Angelina, that's John, whoever." I want them to know it's you. And the way you're going to get that kind of notoriety is by taking your time. All right, so we got one more edit. Again, secondary ruler, marquee ruler. I'm set up, I'm ready to rock. Here, I think I'm just going to start. I don't know if I want to have that build up. I only have 15 seconds to make something happen. And here is where it's like, probably more of an applicable thing to kind of start at the end. This is not just laziness. It's just, it makes more practical sense in the grand scheme of things. So I've selected everything using the marquee ruler. I'm going to shuffle left. All right, I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to hit return, bring the playback to the beginning. And now I'm going to hear this Command A, Command U. I want a better sense of what this is going to look like, sound like. Let me go Command U, Command B. Oh, check that out. Ooh, I love it. All right, let's just see if the execution is there. Here we go. Boom, right there. Good. All right, it works quite nice. Command B that. I'm at 18 seconds. Again, courtesy fade, they can fade. You can see it's right on the 15 mark though. So I am happy about that. Let me go ahead and just delete anything that's not currently needed. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Yep. All right. So it's working. If you wanted to, you could do a lead in. Considering that I've already have, an 18-second track, I'm not going to do that, but you could do something where, maybe you have just like a snare. So like 1, 2, 3, ga, boom, start the song, right? So that could be something where you have a snare on the beat 4 of the last measure, right? Something that you could work with. But like I said, I'm good. I've got 18 seconds. Let's render it. Here we go. 15 seconds. All right. Yeah, super excited. It's going to be a great weekend. This weekend, if you're following the journey, we've got a big music supervisor coming to the Monetize Your Music Mastermind. This is every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We usually do stream it live on YouTube, but because this is a bit more exclusive, it will only be a part of the membership site. So if you want to check us out and you want to make new contacts, again, we've got people making money, guys. People are making money. DBP, one of our members, just made $100. Chris Chrisman just made $40. Like, people are doing stuff. I'm stoked that it's possible to get out there and work and find opportunities. We currently have a really big brief, actually. So yeah, if you're interested in, music licensing leads, if you're interested in learning Logic, if you're interested in learning mixing and the music licensing business, check us out at hfmusicacademy.com. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for your time. I've been trying to take you through the process, just showing you the ins and outs. It's good to look at the psychology and the mindset. What is it going to take, right? Every single day, even when I don't feel like coming, I still come and I still get in my work because I remember what it was like when I wasn't doing this. And so I'm going to stay grateful for the day. I'm going to rejoice in this day, and I'm going to live my life and my dream. Thank you so much for watching. We are out of here. Peace.